Hey, so what's up with AOT? So there's this dude named Hajime Isayama, right? Back in the day, the man was working at an internet cafe when one day he encountered a customer that was drunk. So drunk that communicating with the person was near impossible. The young Isayama didn't just deal with the drunk internet cafe goer and continue with the shift. No, instead he internalized that experience and thought to himself, the most familiar and scary animal in the world is actually the human. This is what gave Isayama the idea for Titans, creatures that look like humans but lack any kind of humanity. In other words, AOT was inspired by Mark Zuckerberg. Anyways, Isayama took this idea of Titans and ran with it. In 2006, he created a 65-page one-shot now referred to as Attack on Titan 0. The concept manga is vastly different from what the series eventually became, but it features many visual cues and story beats found in the final product. Here's a story that featured an Earth dominated by Titans and angsty teens in the military that wanted to kill them all. Not to mention that some people could even turn into Titans. In its dual-sworded glory, Isayama began pitching his story to publishers. He first pitched it to Shueisha with hopes of serializing in the famous Weekly Shonen Jump, but they shot him down telling him they wouldn't take it unless he modified it to fit their magazine. Of course, Isayama declined to do so and then pitched it to Shueisha's rival company Kodansha. They accepted it, but instead of releasing chapters in their weekly shonen magazine, they wanted it to be one of the first titles in their new monthly publication, Bisatsu Shonen Magazine. In September of 2009, Attack on Titan dropped its first chapter, To You 2,000 Years From Now. From there, the tale between humanity and the Titans begins. We get the story of one Eren Yeager and his wish to rid the world of the horrible monsters that trampled his hometown and killed his mom. It's said that Isayama roughly planned out all the events to Attack on Titan, even knowing when the major plot twists would happen. However, one thing he definitely could not plan for was what his series would eventually become. In April of 2013, Wit Studio released the first season of the Attack on Titan anime. It took the world by storm, forever changing the anime industry. Not only was it a commercial success, but it was a critical success. I mean, just look at all these awards, pretty nuts. AOT was a series that made its way outside of the anime community and became a global pop culture sensation. Even if you hadn't seen the series, you had at least seen this frame somewhere. Its first season would end in September of 2013, and it wouldn't get its second until April of 2017. The reason why season 2 took so long was because Wit Studio wanted to wait for more manga chapters to be released before moving forward with the story. But alas, a second season did eventually come around, and while the original global sensation hype had worn off, a third season would come as well. As the anime continued into 2019, AOT would again be thrusted into the meta as the story reached a major turning point, featuring some of the anime's very best episodes, even considered by some sources to be amongst the best in television history. 2019 would also be the year that Isayama announced the manga was in its final phases. Just 16 months after making that statement, Attack on Titan found its end on April 9th, 2021. After 11 years and 139 chapters, AOT was finally put to rest, at least in manga form. A few weeks before that final chapter dropped, Season 4 Part 1 had just released its final episode. Now yeah, for Season 4 of the anime, AOT changed its production house as Wit Studios declined to return for the final season. They passed it off to Studio Mappa, and they've been handling it ever since. Technically speaking, the history of AOT isn't exactly concluded, as at the time of making this video, there's still a second part to the last season to be released in January of 2022. Surely we'll need to make an updated video as this franchise ages with time, but here's a few other important things to know about. In 2015, there was a 2-part live-action film produced by Toho in Japan. Yes, indeed, it did happen, and it was panned by many fans and critics alike, and it's gonna be happening again sometime soon, this time by Hollywood. In 2017, Warner Bros. And Kodansha finalized a deal to make another live-action adaptation. It was announced that Andy Muschietti, the man behind It and The Flash, would be assuming the directorial role. There's still a lot unknown about that film, but we'll be keeping a close eye on its production. But that's the story so far. Attack on Titan will always stand as one of the greatest series to ever come out of Japan. One Japanese newspaper said it best and called AOT a once-in-a-decade hit. There's still a lot left for this franchise in many different forms, as it doesn't seem to be going away anytime soon. But yeah, that's what's up with AOT. For now.